Welcome back to Big Mama's Greenhouse, where I plant seeds and serve plates. I am Umi Shea, aka Shayola, the artisan, aka Chef Shayola, aka the shamanic chef, aka your healer dealer. I'll be serving it up, y'all. I'll be serving it up. All right, let's do one of these here because we know, we know. I wish I already put that down, but we're going to the market on Sunday, and my C star, Ari with RBA Green Vibes, has a plethora of plants that I have around the room that I'll share. But anywho, this transmission is more lecture based, history based. So I am going to work very hard at keeping these videos 30 minutes or less, as to not, overwhelm or just, giving too much at one time. So here lately, I've been hearing, well, not even so much lately, but oftentimes, um, well, let me start with this. You may have heard me say before that when I planted my son's placenta, it was like something within me opened, like I came online. And my views began to change drastically, or maybe not so drastically, and maybe it's not even a change; it's a remembrance. And for the last 2 years, almost 2.5 years, next month, I have been on a um, self rediscovery. And while history is important, I think I now know that our individual history or her story within our own organization is pinnacle, right? Knowing your own story, nothing beats it. And for some, it may take a little bit more digging, but probably not as much as we have been trained to believe. So I saw a thumbnail, began to watch this video, and the title was something like, We're Africans, period. And it always kind of ruffles a feather with me now because I strive to look at a whole thing, like who's giving this information, where did you get your lessons from, and all of the things. So I went into the chat, and which I normally don't do, right? It's your channel, do your thing. But my question, I feel, was question and comment was super valuable in that if what we know today is what we know today, the landmass now called Africa wasn't given its name into the 1800s during the Berlin Conference. And Jesse Jackson gave us the term African American in the 80s. Like, how can there, like, why is there a period, in this blanketed identity that we here in North America seem to have to tolerate? Then I said something I probably should have screenshotted so that I could show. I asked, now I lost my train of thought. It'll circle back around. Oh, I asked, when we say, well, all humanity comes from Africa, it kind of, again, ruffles me because it's, well, why wouldn't people, let's say in Canada have to call themselves African Canadians, or people in Peru having to call themselves African Peruvians, or, people in Mongolia, African Mongol, like it's not adding up, right? So they'll say, okay, well, it's because of chattel slavery. Okay, well, they gave us a story that millions were stolen from this landmass and brought here. And again, I'm like, that's also not true because we were able to prove that it was more like tens of thousands, not taken away from people who were stolen from the land, but what they have us to believe at mass is that, we come from somewhere else, which that's what I've been on here lately, and that you're not going to tell me who I am and where I come from if you can't tell me your great 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 grandmother's name. So I was listening to a lecture last night and I'm like, go legendary Big Chief Top Cats. The lecture is pretty long, so I'm gonna play 10 minutes of it and then I'm gonna come back. And dang, I didn't even I'm gonna strive to do a time check. Again, keeping this at 30 minutes. Because what I know to be true is that we sometimes we just latch on to information and we don't do our own research. And I should have brought some books down, but there's so many like, oh, well, why believe their story? You got to be able to read. You have to be able to. You have to. Anywho, was listening to a lecture and Big Chief Top Cats. The title of it is pretty much like how the DNA was cover up. It's like a big cover up. And he was explaining at length this how the out of Africa theory on so many levels is just like it doesn't even make sense, right? So the thumbnail for this video for me is going to be stop telling me that we all come from Africa. Like I'm over it. Don't you're going you're going to get a blank stare from me because it's too much. Too much. Too much going into the wrong direction when we have so much information that counters what we have been told. We know better now. So anyway, because y'all, I'll get into it and go. Y'all be walking through the woods with me forever. So here we go. I'm gonna start at 111. Okay. So where it lands is obviously 21, and I promise I won't go over, but I will drop this link in the description so that if you desire to take a closer look, not just from his perspective, but read and draw your own conclusion and stop letting people, even me, don't let me tell you nothing. Research for yourself. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Uh-oh, we finna work now. I'm coming out of my shirt now. I'm going for a stoppage. Yeah, I'm going for a stoppage. Oh, yeah, ref gonna have to stop it. So now we're in the United States. Guess who these students are? You got Al Krober, you got Ruth Benedict, you got Margaret Mead, you got Melville Herskovich, you got Edward Sapar. Huh? So let's work. Now, who is Melville Herskovich? In 1963, the white Jewish father of African study dies. This is Pan-African's daddy. No disrespect, fam. On everything I love, I'm telling you what God knows. It wasn't a person that looked like us came and told us that Negroes in America had a culture and our culture was in Africa. It was him. And if you don't believe me, just watch. So the white Jewish anthropologist who was the father of African studies died at 67. Okay. The early anthropology foundation for much of the knowledge about Africa. Hold on. The foundation. Who built the foundation? About African in modern academic fields include African studies or the European exploration of Africa, the transatlantic slave trade. Put them all on there. The scramble of Africa by Europeans. Put them all on there. Guess who it was? No, none other than the big bad man himself, the father of African studies. Oh, Yeah, the slave trade, the scramble for Africa, all that's him. And he worked clean. Let's watch him work. We're going to go to his works. The myth of the Negro past. The significance of Africanism. Watch what he say, though. Trip me out. I said, damn, nigga. I'm trying to see how you going to get it to sell if you going to say that. He say, through the historical relationship between the present day Negroes of the United States and Africa, admits of no debate. There is little scientific knowledge of what has happened to this African cultural heritage in the New World. He admitted ain't no debate that what happened to this. He admitted ain't there. God damn, with my wallet, I just had my motherfucking car. I just had my car key. If it ain't there, homie, so we need to put it there. He say we need to put some paint where it ain't. See, okay, boom, bounce off. What he do with it? He says there's little scientific knowledge what happened to this African culture heritage in the New World. Statement bearing the absence of retention of Africanism, even though there are drawn out things, different degrees of familiarity with the patterns of Negro life in the country, share one character in common. Watch what he say. He said African civilizations involved, but the majority of them are at all events utilized, but few, if any, of are cited in documentation or commonly the older sources, which today are of little scientific value. So we can't use it. So why is it on the table? Why is it in our mind? Because he is going to use somebody that's very near and dear to us to bring it to us, even though he told you it wasn't there. Let's work. We finna scratch. Melville Herkovitz, Racial Politics of Knowledge by Jerry Gresham on page 29. Let's walk. So in April 1923, what happened? While putting the finishing touches on the dissertation, Herkovitz submitted a fellowship application to the NRC. Who is the NRC? The NRC is a sister company to the eugenics. Now, we just saying who running eugenics. Okay. Garvey got a bag out of them niggas too. Okay. Check. Garvey got a bag and a boat. Yeah, somebody said if you're going to tell it out, fuck it. If you bring it up, Walter Plecker was in the Eugenics Society. They targeted Negroes and, yeah, didn't want them classified as Indian. Garvey got a bag, like I said, Garvey got his bag from him too. And what Garvey said, we're going to repatriate. Hey, man, let's get about America. Let's go to Africa. I ain't going, but I'm saying you can go because Garvey never went. Anyway, we talking about this. So in 23, he go to the NRC and he applied for a grant. Now, he left, he was studying East African culture at the time. But he ain't never even took an anthropometric class. He ain't even certified in this. But he the nigga that got to certify everybody else, though. Let's walk. His decision was to pursue physical anthropology and study racial mixing was clearly influenced by who? Franz Boas. Who is that? The founder of anthropology in North America, who just specializes in North American Indians. Niggas. Who told you he classified people and created their names and languages based off the geographics? And he said himself in his works, he didn't go knock on nobody's door and ask who they were. He wrote down what he wanted to. That's how much power he had. Total control. Because he got that sign and he got a whole lot of money behind him. Let's walk and talk. Boy.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I know that was a lot to take in, especially if you're hearing it for the first time. When I traveled to what we now know as Africa, I really feel like maybe that's when my journey started, right before Corona. And, it was like, they greeted us, hey cousin, you know, not sister, not brother. And for me, when I got back and was able to really think and have quiet time and reflection time over that journey, it was like again a reminder that these are my kinfolk in a way that they are my cousins, not my brothers and sisters. And what has come, what I've been on, I'm gonna strive to keep saying that because people strive to box you in, tell you again who you should be, how you should be, and it's like, nah, you don't get to do that. You can't tell me that because chances are you don't even know who you are. Again, I probably should have I probably should have did a whole lot of things. When my father transitioned, and going through my grandmother's things, it was just, I mean, gangs of pictures. Being able to have pictures of her mother and her mother and her mother and names and things on the back, or even having family members that I can call to say, who's this? Great great grandmother? Oh, okay. So this type of video is one that I have been waiting a very long time to post because, or share this transmission, I should say, because I had to go up against the best of them. And what I felt was defending who I am and where my bloodline trickles in. I mean, I, y'all, and hopefully I can share, you know, bits of the story as, time travels. It has not been an easy journey just being able to stand in your awareness and not be, I would say, lost family um behind this quest and journey for self-discovery. Now, my journey definitely is not your journey. But if this transmission has come across your timeline, I would really, you're being called to look at your personal story and start with the people that are if your grandparents, your parents are still alive. Thank God, my grandmother is still alive at 92, to be able to just hear from her, like to have known her father well into my 20s. Like, we have got to stop regurgitating information and accepting it, right? Because what I've also found, I'm around Robin, is that while on my journey, it was like having to heal from some stuff that wasn't even my stuff because of a story that has been perpetuated. Like, nah, but that didn't happen like that. That did not. And then look again, where did you get your information from, right? Because if you're only really studying one landmass, there's no way that you could be an expert of what it is over here. You ain't never studied it. And another thing that I've learned just adulting is you cannot make a full conclusion off of half of a story. You got to try to get as much information as you can, stand in the middle and weigh that thing out. But the moment we take on other people, yo, the next 46 years for me, total and more sacred and sovereignty. Because I know people going, even on this, they in the comments, don't let them distract you. Don't let them distract you. Oh, we don't have them records. Everything was, don't let them distract you. Ladies, daughters, original ones, don't let them distract you. I'm telling you, planting and I can see why, if you and I had my son delivered him in a hospital, definitely not what I wanted or desired. Um, but I accept the lessons that came with that as well. You know, However, most hospitals will not allow you to keep your placenta. But my oversoul, my ancestor team, my spirit team for fortifying me to be able to assert myself and have things done in a certain type of way, even within the environment that I was in. So I will land on stop telling me, stop saying it unless you know that and proving it, which you're not going to be able to do if you only reading a certain type of genre or author of a book. It's just not going to happen. We got to come out of these titles that we've been allowed ourselves to take on and wonder why we can't get nowhere because you over there with it. How can you possibly um, have what's yours or whatever if your hands and minds is filled with stupidity? Okay, I done did enough. I know. And I am not saying that again, I had to get here. I'm 45, y'all. And I thought that I was awakened and been through some things, but I hadn't been through motherhood. I hadn't synced up with the land in such a way. So I want to end on this because I was like, okay, this is also, I didn't cue it. So let me cue it. Y'all, do your own bloodline research and stop taking in what people have given you as an identity. We off that. All right, I want to go too far, but let's see. I see brother. Shout out to Radiohead Rich. I had the pleasure of meeting him once in New York for Corona as well. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me come back a little bit. Oh, where y'all at? I'll get better with technology, maybe. I've been saying that for years, but I am better because look at me. Okay, this is the first time on this type of on this platform for me to really. But if you'll come across other videos. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And this ain't for everybody. So if you feel like this ain't my story, this don't apply to me or resonate, thank you for knowing. But for everybody else, this was so dope. All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Did you get to it, Umi?
Reality for the Mall family. We are powerful, powerful beings, powerful people, powerful gods and goddesses. On that note, we signing out. Enjoy this video. This is powerful right here. Shout out to the brother Mo in the chat. Shout out to Upcats. We doing, this is our time. This is our era. We doing the damn thing. Peace, family.
Turn it.
I like that Honduran cigar, the spirits rise. Smoke curling like ancestors whispering in the skies. Dr. Sebi in my left ear saying heal from inside. This ain't no new land, we the ones they try to deny. Before Columbus ever dreamed of ships to steer, we was building mounds, doing rituals with no fear. From Yucatan to Galveston, New Orleans near. That's a triangle of soul, but the map been clear. Second lines ain't parades, that's ancestral rights. Tambourines and feathers under full moonlight. We ain't immigrants now, we the original might. Built pyramids and bone flutes before Rome took flight. Top cat said it loud, stop begging for permission. Our culture ain't missing, it's just deep in tradition. We ain't African cause they told us we remember the mission. The land speaks Creole, soul food and intuition. We been here through the blood and the drum, through the elders, the chants and the kiss of the sun. Smoke rise from the leaf, yeah, we talk to the sky. And the ancestors' rhythm, we never die. We been here, oh yeah, we been here. Way before they wrote their lives, we still near. This our home, not a place we disappear. Jaheim singing true through the pain and the tears. Granny sat me down, roll something slow. Said when you puff, give thanks, let the cosmos know. I inhale the jungle, exhale the flow. Spitting stories that the textbook still scared to show. Cigar lit like a torch from ancient rites. Aromas like prayers to the Orishas at night. New Orleans ain't a tourist tale, it's black divine. Where the jazz horns been time and the spirits align. Forget Columbus, we was dancing in stars. Trading turquoise, dripping culture in bars. Drums talking codes, spirits moving cars. Look close, the past ain't gone, it's just behind these stars. From Congo Square to Trammy porches, we built this land, no need for endorsements. The Mardi Gras beads ain't just for decor. That's soul armor, homie, we was gods before war. We been here through the blood and the drum, through the elders, the chants and the kiss of the sun. Smoke rise from the leaf, yeah, we talk to the sky. In the ancestors' rhythm, we never die. We been here, oh yeah, we been here. Way before they wrote their lives, we still live. This our home, not a place we disappear. Jaheim singing true through the pain and the here, through the blood and the drum, through the elders, the chants and the kiss of the sun. Smoke rise from the leaf, yeah, we talk to the sky. In the ancestors' rhythm, we never die. We been here, oh yeah, we been here. Way before they wrote their lives, we still live. This our home, not a place we disappear. Jaheim singing true through the pain and the tears. We been here, oh yeah, we been here. Way before they wrote their lives, we still live. This our home, not a place we disappear. Jaheim singing true through the pain and the tears.
We've been here, y'all. So until next time, peace, love, and hope.